Good morning, boys and girls. Are you excited to listen to more of Flora and Ulysses? Today we are starting on chapter 5. All right. Chapter 5 is called The Squirrel Obliges. I want you to listen carefully when we're reading this because I'm not going to tell you what the word oblige means. I want you to listen to the words that I say around oblige, and you tell me what it means, okay? So be listening for the word. Something strange has happened to the squirrel's brain. Things had gone blank black. And then into this blackness there came a light so beautiful, so bright, that the squirrel had to turn away. A voice spoke to him. "What's that?" said the squirrel. The light shone brighter. The voice spoke again. "Okay," said the squirrel. "You bet." I'm going to pause right there. Because before I go further, the first thing on chapter 5 says, things went blank black. The squirrel saw a light and heard a voice and agreed. "You bet." Says, explain what you think happened and what the squirrel agreed to. So in these lines, what do you think happened and what do you think that the squirrel agreed to? I'll read it again. Something strange had happened to the squirrel's brain. Things had gone blank black, and then into this black blankness there came a light so beautiful, so bright, that the squirrel had to turn away. A voice spoke to him. "What's that?" said the squirrel. The light shone brighter. The voice spoke again. "Okay," said the squirrel. "You bet." Go ahead, pause the video, and write what you think the squirrel agreed to. All right. Moving on, listening for the word oblige. That's toward the end of the page. I'll reread it again too. He wasn't sure what exactly he was agreeing to, but it didn't matter. He was just so happy. He was floating in a great lake of light, and the voice was singing to him. Oh, it was wonderful. It was the best thing ever. And then there was a loud noise. The squirrel heard another voice. This voice was counting. The light receded. "Breathe," a new voice shouted. The squirrel obliged. He took a deep, shuddering breath, and then another, and another. The squirrel returned. All right. The sentence with the word obliged says the squirrel obliged. But I'm going to reread again. He was just so happy. He was floating in a great lake of light, and the voice was singing to him. Oh, it was wonderful. It was the best thing ever. And then there was a loud noise. The squirrel heard another voice. The voice was counting, the light receding. "Breathe," a new voice shouted. The squirrel obliged. He took a deep, shuddering breath, and then another, and another. The squirrel returned. Go ahead and pause the video and write what you think the word obliged means, and then maybe rewind it just a little bit to write the phrase that helps you understand the meaning of the word. So what sentence or what few words did I say that helps you understand what obliged means? And then, while your video is paused after you do that one, another thing for chapter 5 says to draw the comic scene for this chapter. Add arrows for the order. So you're going to draw 4 pictures that you think describe this chapter. It was really a one-page chapter. And then draw arrows to the boxes so I know which one's first, which one's second, and then so forth and so on. when you come back, we will read chapter 6. All right? Let me get my papers situated. All right. Welcome back. You paused the video, right? Chapter 6. In the event of a seizure. Well, he's breathing, said Miss Tickman. Yes, said Flora, he is. She felt a swell of pride. The squirrel rolled over onto his stomach. He raised his head. His eyes were glazed. For heaven's sakes, Miss Tickman said, look at him. She chuckled quietly. She shook her head, and then she laughed out loud. She kept laughing. She laughed and laughed and laughed. She laughed so hard that she started to shake. Was she having some kind of fit? Flora tried to remember what terrible things can happen to you advised in the event of a seizure. It had something to do with moving the tongue out of the way or stabilizing it with a stick or something. Flora had saved the squirrel's life. She didn't see any reason she couldn't save Miss Tickman's tongue. The sun sank a little lower in the sky. Miss Tickman continued to laugh hysterically, and Flora Belle Buckman started looking around the Tickman's backyard for a stick. All right, that was chapter 6. Let me double check that was chapter 6. That was chapter 6. I wasn't reading a lot today because I wanted to make sure that you had time to do your pages because there was a few pages that went along with today. Also, if you need to finish any pages from earlier in the week. Miss Tickman's reaction to the squirrel's survival was unusual. Why was her reaction unusual? What was her reaction? Think about it. And then why is that unusual to react to the squirrel's survival? Flora's comic books are coming in handy. Make a case to Flora's mom. Why should Flora be allowed to read lots of comic books? Remember earlier in the book, the mom said that she wanted Flora to read, how did she say it? Real literature. And Flora had signed the contract saying that she would as well. But the comic books are proving to be helpful, and she's putting the knowledge that she's getting from them to good use. So write what you would say to Flora's mom, telling her why Flora should still be allowed to read the comic books. Okay? I think that's the only page for chapter 6. Yep. So you have 3 pages to do today, and then I am asking all 10 of the pages be turned in. So this one has the little page number 10 at the bottom. So all of the pages that you've done up until and including this one are being turned in today, and then we'll start reading chapter 7 next week. Have a great day, guys.